Hey, what's up, everybody? Ab-stract here. And so, yeah, I haven't even been on Twitter for like more than an hour, and I've already found a video trying to debunk or claim that the Bleach realms are only planets and stuff like that. So we're just gonna go through this conversation and see what the arguments are, see where we can. I'm actually not gonna hop in. I'm more so just gonna critique on here on whether or not if things are the case or are not the case, right? So let's get it. So today we'll be featuring DJ Talks. Never interacted with this guy before, but we'll see what he has to say. So where does the conversation even start? The most powerful characters in Boruto right now, because member Team 7, yada yada yada. Dude, Ichigo has the worst DC feats, though. We gotta find where they're starting. Yu-Gi-Oh! Game dimension is like a matrix, it's not a solar system. You're bad at interpretation. Yu-Gi-Oh's game dimension is like a matrix, it's not a solar system. Okay, that's a fair assessment, but like everything in Yu-Gi-Oh's dimension is kind of real though. Like it seems like Yu-Gi-Oh has the option to make them pixels if he wants to, or actual destructible things within the dimension that he creates. So that's like a yes and a no. Like when Renji versus Jackie is going on, when she destroys rocks via air pressure, those rocks aren't turning into pixels, they're crushing into actual rocks and stuff like that. And same with Tsukishima versus Byakuya, like when the area is destroyed, it doesn't just turn into pixels, it's actual destruction. So that's like a yes and a no. I get where he's coming from, it's a fair thing to say, but you just can't claim it, right? They literally use his ability to modify an entire dimension. This is true. They put a Valley of Screams in a box and they take that box up to the Soul Society. This is true. He's using the screen from a game as a hologram. Yu-Gi-Oh! Dimensions are pocket-sized dimensions. He makes battle terrain stages to fight, like the moon in the sky isn't real. They are just matrix-type structure pocket dimensions. He can even fold the sky of them. Alright, let's stop there. They're matrix-type structure pocket dimensions. But in the matrix, everything that happens in the matrix is actually happening within the context of the matrix. You know what I mean? It's really happening in like if you get shot in the matrix, you're taking the damage of a real bullet. No different from Yu-Gi-Oh's video game. So if that's the comparison he's making, then he would be admitting that Yu-Gi-Oh can make solar systems and stuff like that. Right? Go back to the Matrix. What did Cypher say? I know this steak isn't real. I know I'm not really eating it. But goddamn it, that steak tastes pretty good, don't it, nigga? So it's like, we know these things aren't real, but if it's in the context of the Matrix or in the context of Yu-Gi-Oh's game, they are actually real. So he's kind of not talking himself into a hole here, but I wouldn't use the Matrix analogy. That one doesn't really work well for me. So he made a dimension that mimics Karakura Town for a familiar area to Ichigo visually. He didn't make solar systems. He uses same matrix substance as a clone to avoid being attacked. The clone Toshiro attacks was not the real Yu-Gi-Oh, just like his matrix dimension. See, but that's up to Yu-Gi-Oh's choosing though, too. Let's see real quick. Thanks to you, my Invaders Mustai was able to extend its invasion zone outside the Serete. So that's real blood though. This is real blood from the fake Yu-Gi-Oh that got stabbed. And then, okay, cool, yeah. And then when he's in the game world, he literally makes it pixels. So this really isn't helping his argument. He's really just confirming that Yu-Gi-Oh can have it be whatever he wants, wherever he wants it to be. It's just that in the game, he wanted it to be pixels. In real life, he wanted it to look like Ichigo actually stabbed him. I would not use this as an example. It's not really helping his case. The clone Toshiro attacks was not the real Yu-Gi-Oh, just like his matrix dimensions are not really solar system size. In fact, Toshiro in Shikai was more than enough to defeat him, a Toshiro who should be much weaker than characters like Sternritter, whose bases without Volshindig amps were multi-continental level. Debunked. That's funny. And then Zach says, they literally used his ability to modify an entire dimension. We've been over this. This is true. That did happen. Valley of Screams are accumulation of lost souls. Yukio can manipulate them with his game powers into the image he wants. They are matrix pocket dimensions. They made a room-sized Valley of Screams to travel in out of one like a train vehicle, but he didn't make it out of the solar system. It's like being in a Matrix game, but outside of the game, he is weak compared to someone like Toshiro, who would be nowhere near planetary or solar system level. Ichigo destroyed a dimension large enough to fit a fake Karakura town in a sky, which should be much smaller than Serete. Well, I mean, Ichigo's dimension that he was fighting in had a sun, not just us. I mean, yes, it was Karakura town, that was the setting, right? But that place did have a star or a sun. That's number one. And then he said something else. He said, where was it? Their matrix pocket dimensions, they made rooms. Okay, yeah. They made a room-sized Valley of Screams to travel in, but he didn't make it out of a solar system. And I think this can be fair, because in the video that I made, I said, depending on the Valley of Screams, I think it has the potential to become a solar system, but we can't just assert that they are solar systems. We would need to see proof of that, right? But we know Valley of Screams do have a source of light, and using just inductive reasoning, that source of light would obviously be a sun. So if we're opening the door for one celestial body, it leaves the door open for other celestial bodies. Now, I wouldn't assert Valley of Screams are universes or are universal. I would say they could potentially get to that point, but I wouldn't state they are, kind of like how I did in the video. So him saying he didn't make it out of a solar system might be true, but that one definitely could have contained a sun in it. So that is also true. All right, let's back out of that one. The fact that he could manipulate an entire dimension with the power boost he got from Ichigo's full bring is proof his pocket dimensions are that strong. We literally saw Kenpachi slice through a whole universe created by Gremmy. Why is that too hard for you to comprehend? LOL. Okay. Valley of Screams are pocket dimensions in small spaces. The largest one was the size of a planet. They are made up of souls. There is no solar system or universes made up of lost souls. Well, I don't know about that, because going back to what I just said, the Valley of Screams has a light source, which means the sun in that place would also be made up of the lost souls. So it's not too far-fetched to imagine, if that event during Memories of Nobody took place outside and there were stars, we wouldn't be talking about whether or not the Valley of Scream is universal or not. But it just happened to be taking place in the daytime where we could see light, indicative of a sun, right? So I wouldn't just assert that, but I understand what he's saying. You can't just claim it either. Stop the nonsense. Toshiro practically one-shot Yukio in base form Shikai, and he is continent level at time. Yukio is a fighter outside of his games. Unlike Gremmy, who doesn't rely on already existing lost souls to form game dimensions, the sky folded. It's not a real planet or real solar system, just a matrix. Gremmy is irrelevant to Yukio and outscales him. But see, with that, it's like Yukio was shutting down his dimension entirely. So it folding on itself wouldn't necessarily mean the things inside of it aren't real or wouldn't scale to the real things. That's not what that would mean. It would just mean he was shutting down his dimension. It was going to collapse on itself and destroy itself. So again, I see what he's saying, but nah. Okay. The largest one was the size of a planet. My source is that I made it up. That's funny. The source is Memories of Nobody movie. The source is the Memories of Nobody movie. Valley of Souls are just small dots compared to the human world and Soul Society. When it got as big as those two planets, it got stuck to them and made them begin to collide. The sky and the ground of Valley of Screams are all made up of lost souls. A planet's size of souls appearing out of the blue upsets the balance of flow of souls with the other worlds that must be equally balanced at all times. Valley of Screams existing was already something they knew, but a problem occurs if one becomes the size of a planet, as too many souls are being accumulated and summoned to one area without any going through flow of souls upsets balance. Okay, that's pretty accurate. That's pretty accurate, but I don't know about that, because the Garganta is, at least in the portrayal of this movie, and with what Yoruichi said, the Garganta is about, not the Garganta, I'm sorry, the Precipice world is about as big or expansive as the Garganta. Remember, because the Precipice world acts as the second layer of subtlety after the Garganta. So it's hard to say that there aren't Valley of Screams this big. It's hard to say that. We don't know for sure. We know they vary in size. We can just leave it there. As big as those two planets. Wait, you actually believe Soul Society and the World of Living are planetary, or planets? Yes, Wakamundo is not a damn universe. It debunks everything. Okay. Why, yes it is. That is what the three realms of existence and alternate worlds are, buddy. Wakamundo is the entire space between the world of the living and Soul Society. In case you wanted to claim it was just a planet, lol. It is also accessible only via Garganta, not space travel. That is a good point. That's a very good point. Yeah. A space inhabited by hollows that exist between the present world and Soul Society. It cannot be entered without passing through the black cavity. That's interesting. That means you can't even use the... Well, actually, no, that makes sense. That makes sense. I was going to say you can't even use the Precipice world to get to Wakamundo, but we've never seen that anyway. So that makes sense. That makes sense. Wakamundo is a planet. It has surface versus... Wakamundo is a planet. It has a surface versus a universe which doesn't have a surface. Wakamundo is a planet that is dotted with dead trees on its surface versus a universe that doesn't have dead trees. Wakamundo has an atmosphere versus a universe that doesn't have an atmosphere. Wakamundo would look like this. Wakamundo would look like this. Okay, so this is where the conversation kind of gets like topsy-turvy, because the context would be Wakamundo is a planet that would exist inside of, in the video I think I said what did I say? A dimension of unknown size, right? But we did have this scan where there are stars in Wakamundo, number one, and Badagon knows about stars. So that one kind of depends on how you want to take it. But the discrepancy I think is being had here is that this guy isn't saying Wakamundo is not a planet. He's saying it's just not confined to be just a planet. Like the dimension itself is not just a planet with random space. He would be arguing that Wakamundo is its own universe. And he's saying a universe doesn't have all these things. Only a planet does. Which is true, but we have to contextualize what we mean. Because Wakamundo also refers... Okay, cool, yeah, so... He's saying this is just Wakamundo. His response is, because Wakamundo also refers to the planet. I agree with this. See, and this is one issue that a lot of people that do Bleach's Cosmology have. How would I say this? Well, no, yeah. This is one problem they always have, right? When you take the word world or universe or realm, especially in the context of Bleach, and there are many examples for this, all those words can mean different things at the same time, depending on context, right? So when you say the world of the living, that can intimate the planet Earth or the observable universe. It can mean literally both. When you say Soul Society, that can literally mean the Serete, that can mean the planet Soul Society, and that can also mean the Soul Society's universe. Same thing when you say Wakamundo. Wakamundo is just not restrictive to that one planet. It would be the moon and everything within that realm or dimension. So yeah, because Wakamundo also refers to the planet, but as shown in the statement above, it is a dimension in its entirety. If it were just another planet, it wouldn't be another planet of existence accessible only via Garganta. Another true statement. He hasn't refuted that Garganta thing yet. We gotta see if he refutes that. He hasn't refuted it yet, and it's a good point. He's basically saying the Garganta exists independently, just like Soul Society and the world of the living would, and that the only way you can get to it is via the Garganta. If it wasn't a planet and if it was only a planet and not existing within its own dimension or universe, then you would be able to travel to that place via space travel or something like that, basically. Oh, is that the end of it? Let me see. Oh, no, we're good. All right. He says now, what was the response to this though? Okay, he made two statements. Okay. Statements referring to the planet don't debunk them being a universe. That's another true statement. Statements referring just to the planet do not debunk it being a universe. That's true. As this is just how alternate worlds are used to refer to different aspects of the dimension, despite being the dimension itself. Referring to aspects of the planet doesn't make it just a planet. Again, that is true. He needs to come. What's his name? Yeah, DJ Talks. He needs to come a little stronger. Alright. The Valley of Screams are universe plus in size, as they are in their own separate space times. Alright. Now, this is not a hill that I personally would die on. I wouldn't just assert that. I think more evidence and more proof is needed for that claim. I think the potential is there, which is fine to say though, because, like I said, having a light source via a sun opens the door for other celestial bodies, right? So I wouldn't personally die on that hill, but whatever. There aren't just planetary dimensions, lol. They are completely separated from the other worlds by space-time, unlike your average pocket dimension, which exists in a larger space-time. Sorry, they're not. Valley of Screams is not universal size. There are small pockets of space, and the largest one got to be the size of a planet. Valley of Screams are made out of lost souls, nigga. Not billions of souls that make up stars. Keto canon can destroy that shit. Are you that retarded to think Sedite had a universe level canon lying around, idiot? Alright, so the issue with that is, if you guys haven't seen the movie, I'll just basically explain it. So, the Soul Society was going to attack a Valley of Screams via a keto cannon, much like Naruto's chakra cannon, which they might have stole that from Bleach, actually, but that's another conversation for another day. So they were going to attack the Valley of Screams with their keto cannon, because the Valley of Screams was going to have the world of the living and the Soul Society collide with each other via the Valley of Screams kind of pulling the two places together. Now, the issue with what I'm having with he said, and let's read it again. He said, keto cannon destroyed, he said, Valley of Screams are made up of lost souls, nigga, not billions of souls that make up stars. Keto cannon destroyed that shit. Are you that retarded to think, say that they had a universal level canon lying around? Alright, yeah, so here's the thing. The canon wouldn't have to be universal. It really wouldn't, because the Shininju, which was the person that was going to be able to do this, was literally just on the planet, which was in the Valley of Screams. They wouldn't have to destroy the universe. So that's one thing that he got wrong here, and that Fish Flakes, I'm hoping, picks up on or says. But they didn't have to destroy the planet. They didn't have to destroy the universe or the sun in that universe or anything. They just literally had to destroy the planet that the Shininju was on, and then that would have stopped the whole thing. All right. If they were planet size, they wouldn't have to exist in a larger space-time. They do not. Meaning they have their own space-time. Who said billions of souls are needed to make up stars? Pure headcanon. Also true. Fish Flakes is kind of on one. He like me, yo. Who said this, yo? Where you get this information? That's funny. Who said billions of souls are needed to make up stars? Pure headcanon. Not spamming multi comments, retard. Billions of souls need to be used. You think hundreds of souls can make up a planet? LOL. Nigga, stop. The whole sky and ground is made up of blanks. Nigga, stop. The whole sky and ground is made up of blanks. Billions of souls need to be used. You think hundreds of souls can make up a planet? Nigga, stop. The whole sky and ground is made up of blanks. I don't know. I don't know if this is relevant, though. eh, I don't know if it's relevant. Like, even when the blanks are coming out of the ground, we still see there's ground. It's not like the planet is, being taken apart just because a few blanks get out of the ground. So it's, I don't know if it's relevant, to be honest. Okay, literally proved nothing. It just shows all the blanks gathering here. None of this debunks it being its own space, its own separate dimension, which is the main argument. Saying we don't see a universe isn't an argument. That is true. But Fish Flakes, my friend, I don't know if we can just assert that it is a universe either, though. I wouldn't do that. I understand you call it a separate space-time, which is fine, but to say it's universal, I would require more proof for that. Okay. The blanks accumulating together creates a planet, not a universe. The memory rosary is placed in the center of the Valley of Screams. Are you dumb? Why would the center of a universe consist of the mere showing of a ground and sky? It's a planet, dude. Oh yeah, nothing I said. Where we go? It's a planet. Oh yeah, nothing I said proves anything. When your points are destroyed again, play with someone who is out of the loop and hasn't read Bleach. Hey, I like this DJ guy, yo. He kind of fly, man. I'm not gonna lie, I like him. He a cool kid. All right. And is the center of a planet ground or the core? Obviously, they are just talking about the area they are at when they say center. Showing just the planet doesn't mean the dimension isn't a universe. The rest of the dimensions still exist. They're just on a planet. So this back and forth is very, I don't know, man. It's like, it could be either one. I don't know why we're arguing Valley of Screams, though. I don't know if it's pertinent to if the world of the living soul society and Waco Mundo are universes and planets. I don't, the planet doesn't have a core. It's made out of blanks. When being destroyed, all that poured out of the sky and ground was purple goo, not lava, just like Sedete is the center of Soul Society. They were in the center of the Valley of Screams, meaning it's not a universe, but a planet. But its surface being center... with its surface being center, the sky being the above. With its surface being the center and the sky being above. Okay. I might have forgotten that part. The purple goo part he's mentioning. When being destroyed, all that poured out of the sky and ground was purple goo, not lava. So, here's the thing though, why would it have to be lava? Nothing dictates that it needs to necessarily be lava. I mean, we're not talking about Kishi matter anywhere. We're talking about spiritual matter in the first place. So nothing dictates it has to be lava. Okay? More headcanon. You're making a complete fool of yourself. There's no reason to believe the planet is any different. The goo is not relevant. It is shown in Dangai as well. Sedete is the center of Soul Society, not the planet. Okay. Wow, these guys are going at it. Excuse me. All right. Okay. The valley sky is shown in another dimension. That is the main point. The valley sky is shown in another dimension. Is it that difficult to understand the names of the universes can be used to refer to different things? That's true. That is true. The names of the universes can be absolutely used to refer to different aspects of said universe at any given time, depending on context. It's no different from our universe, buddy, but you don't seem to understand that. You're wasting your time on a nigga who thinks this is the Bleach cosmology, by the way. Okay, yes. This is what I wanted to get to because, like I said in the video, guys, this just doesn't make any sense at all. Well, I'm not going to say it doesn't make any sense at all, but there's a lot of counters to this, right? So you have Garganta Space, Waco Mundo, Soul Society, Human World, and technically the Dangai should be all of this too, but we'll get into it. Not actually accurate, but yeah, it's all contained in a universe. Alright. It's all contained in the universe. So, he's like, when you make these statements, I'm hoping there's a good back and forth here, because I need to hear what his reasoning is for this. No, it is not. In Bleach, the name for planets in their language has an ambiguous meaning, while there it is called world. There it is called There it is called sekai, as in the isekais, a parallel reality with similar characteristics but in different places. There are dimensions parallel to the other, not independent parallel dimensions like in Naruto. There are dimensions parallel to the other, not independent parallel dimensions like in Naruto. Why would he be assuming that? And he hasn't like really said any evidence as to why that's the case just yet. They do not occupy the same space and are not even the same. Proof of this is inverted London itself. That is a parallel dimension that occupies the same space. Soul Society and Wikimunda are superior planes, parallels, with different compositions of matter. That is true. They're not really, like, the debunkers aren't really offering heavy counter arguments, right? They're saying stuff, but none of it's like heavy. None of it's been a heavy counter argument yet. Okay. Let's get back to fish flakes. Or did we already read this? Okay, I don't think we did. Being made of lost souls is not a debunk. If a dimension is an entirely separated world, then it contains its own space-time continuum. And we know the Kyogoku do not exist in any other space-time. They don't exist in any other space-time. That's true because they exist within the Garganta itself. And the Garganta is a space that experiences time differently. And if those dimensions are in the Garganta itself, they technically would be their own space-times. Yeah, they would. Okay. It is a debunk. The ground in the sky is made up of it is a debunk. The ground in the sky is made up of lost souls. It is a planet that is destroyed by Keto and started pouring purple goo when it is hit with Keto cannon. Where was the supernova at, dumbass? There's no stars or galaxies in the valley. There's no stars or galaxies in the valley. It screams, you idiot, Bleach. Oh, you idiot. This is why freaking punctuation is freaking essential. I was about to go on a run-on fucking sentence. There's no stars and galaxies in the valley. It screams, you idiot. Bleach fans always have to try to wank everything more than it is. You can even see the Valley of Scream's curvature. It is nothing more than a planet-sized space that got bigger than the rest due to accumulation of lost souls, which must never get to the size of Earth or Soul Society. I mean, I hate this curvature argument. It's just weird, to be honest. Like, if you look far enough, you're going to see the curvature of any fucking thing. Obviously. Okay. And the dimension being made by souls is supposed to be a debunk. That again is true. Like, he's not really saying anything that disproves it. It's just, I just wouldn't give it full universal without like actual proof. That's me though. But this isn't my argument. Right now, I'm not gonna lie. Fish Flakes is kind of cooking. I like DJ Talks, but Fish Flakes has the stronger argument. Like, if I was judging this and grading it, being unbiased, I would have to be leaning with Fish Flakes. And this has nothing to do with me being a Bleach fan. This has nothing to do with any of that stuff. I'm just looking at the stronger arguments right now. Then I tell you to stop spamming multi-comments. You're getting blocked if you keep spamming comments instead of sticking to one by one. Yeah, I hate that shit. I know what he's talking about. Fish Flakes is probably having like multiple conversations. Well, my bad. I'm not verified and don't have larger text limits. That's a fact, DJ. You verify, so you can like type your ass off. We all got a 250 characters type shit. Well, it's stretching out arguments and easy to lose track of just one comment. Oh yeah, yada yada. I already know about that because I'm experienced that way before. Okay. So wait, is this where it ends? Let me see. Okay. Where's that other conversation? Okay. Oh, well. Ooh. Huh. That's an interesting one. I hope we can get to this later, but I'm looking for a certain conversation where my boy was talking. Where we at? But I mean, overall, that was a good conversation. I think the debunkers need stronger arguments because we ain't even get to the real stuff yet. not gonna lie, we have not gotten to the rest stuff. Where is messages? Let me go to replies. Okay, cool. All right. So here we go. Now we're doing DJ Talks versus Previ. Cool. So I don't know where they start exactly, but I'm gonna try and find out where that is. Okay, so I'm going to assume this is the first conversation or comment they have, but let's just look for more context. So still talking about the movie, Fishflake says, that is what a separate space-time continuum is. Nothing else needs to be shown. Keto Cannon and Gate to Sky Palace don't correlate, lol. That is the goo from the space-time distortion. When they refer to sky, they obviously refer to the planet. That doesn't mean the dimension is just a planet. They refer to a single sky because they live on a single planet, and they use Soul Society to refer to the dimension and Soul Society as well. Again, this is true. Dragon Ball Z is not a relative example, as they use different names for the living world and Earth, unlike Bleach. Okay, he's quoting the movie. Souls only come from places where people, Shinigami, Hollows, and Quincy live. Is that a true statement? Souls only come from places where people, Shinigami, Hollows, and Quincy live. That should be a true statement, I'll say. Other planets in space or galaxies are not part of the soul cycle and are not a part of the actual cosmology. Huh? Wait, what? Let's read that again. Let me make sure I'm not making a mistake. Other planets in space or galaxies are not a part of the soul cycle and are not a part of the actual cosmology. This is why no planets or stars are ever shown being affected when Senjumaru shakes... Oh, he had a lot to say. When Senjumaru shakes the planets or Soul King dies, because the outside of the divisional Bleach worlds besides Earth... Oh, God, I hate when people cannot freaking use... He has all these goddamn characters, but he can't use fucking punctuation, yo. This is annoying. This is why not planets... I hate the way people type. This is why not planets nor stars are ever shown being affected when Senjumaru shakes the planets or Soul King dies, because outside of divisional Bleach worlds, besides each, none of the stars or planets like Mars or Venus are tied to the soul cycle, since no souls come from them. This is also why a new planet entering the soul cycle made up of souls sets the cycle off balance when it is maintained by 3 planets: Earth, Soul Society, which is a afterlife Earth in size, and Wakamundo, which is like a demon Earth. 3 days ago, a universe with billions of stars didn't form, only a planet formed. You think billions of lost souls formed a universe-sized place in 3 days? Put down the bottle. All right. So basically breaking that down, I think he's saying, that was so fucking hard to read, y'all. I'm not even gonna lie. That gave me a headache. This must be what my girlfriend feels like when I send her like a really a text message that is like just grammatically incorrect. This must be what it feels like. This is a headache. So let's try and read this again so I can comprehend this shit. This is why no planets or stars are ever shown being affected when Senjumaru shakes the planets. All right. I mean, that can just simply be boiled down to, why would we need to show that when we're talking about... why would we need to show that when all the people who would be affected by it are on the places that are being affected? I'm not saying that the staff couldn't choose to show us that, but if we're focusing on the places that are where people live, those are the places that people live. Would it be nice to see a random sky shake? Yes, but just because you didn't see it, you can't just assert that it didn't happen. Yeah, and even if you're doing that, if we're doing that argument, there would be still no way to argue Well, here's the thing. If we're doing that argument, the Garganta in the precipice world would still be included in between those two layers. I mean, would still be included as two layers in between the Soul Society and the world of the living. And Hueco Mundo, technically, because Precipice World kind of covers all that stuff too. So even in that, those would be shaking because it shook the realms themselves. So it's like, yeah. This is also why a new planet entering the soul cycle made up of souls sets the cycle off balance when it is maintained by 3 planets Earth. I can agree with that. I gotta watch the movie again. For now, I can agree with that, but I gotta watch the movie again. Was it just the fact that... See, I don't think it was the fact that it was a planet-sized Valley of Screams. Was it that? I gotta watch the movie again. I'm not gonna lie. I gotta watch the movie again. So I can't really speak on this in full right now. Except for the fact that the stars are affected as the entire Bleach world collapses. Except for the fact that the stars are affected as the entire Bleach world collapses. I would need to see proof of that one, Fish Flakes. Not being shown isn't an argument when we know they are part of the realms. That's true. That part is true, and I agree with it. Yes, souls live on 3 planets, each in their own separate realm of existence. That is something that I think is true. I do think that is true. Okay. God, yo, he needs all them goddamn characters, and he don't know how to use punctuation, bro. This is annoying. I'm just thinking about the next thing I have to read from this guy. Alright. Your argument relies on the presumption they are planets, and Bleach is not an interstellar series, so your argument falls apart. Don't give me that bullshit about nothing else being shown. That's a pure argument of ignorance. That is a true statement. Just because it's not shown doesn't mean it's not happening or not the case. But to me at least, that doesn't mean you can also assert it to be the case. It's not a good argument against something, but it's almost just as bad an argument for something too. So you kind of have to play it both ways. And that's kind of how I approach the things that I do when it comes to evidence and stuff like that. Which is why I don't have the Valley of Screams as universal. I have it as a potentially could be universal because it had a sun, and if in the movie it was nighttime instead of dark time, we might have seen stars. We really don't know. So yeah. An alternate world is an alternate universe. Simple as that. It doesn't matter if the characters just fight on the planet. There's more to the dimension than just the planet. I don't know what you want to say. Every dimension needs to exist in space-time, and the Kyogoku has its own. Okay. This guy is talking nonsense. It's obvious that Mars and the other planets do not participate in the soul cycle. There are no souls there. There is no life. There is nothing. The Naruto fans' mistake is to think that all anime need alien gods. Alright, that's a funny one. And yeah, I forgot he said the other planets aren't part of the cosmology. That's weird. If they're not part of the cosmology, then the whole primordial sea is out the window. That's what he would literally be saying, and he would be going against the anime. So no, that's just incorrect, but that was a funny comment. Just watch the anime or read the manga. In the beginning, there was the primordial sea and hell. And hell. Where is he getting hell from? I gotta find that. Just primordial sea and hell separated into 3 different planes: Hueco Mundo, Soul Society, and the human world, each with its own unique characteristics. This is true. Another point is that worlds in Bleach is not the name of planets, but rather of sekais. That is worlds in the sense of an alternative. Worlds in the sense of alternative, separate, parallel reality. Another point that contributes to this is that in the Soul Society and in Hueco Mundo, there are moons and stars. That is true too. Alright, DJ with the clapback. Let's see what he got to say. It's not classified as such, but just a different dimension, different world. It's not classified as such, but just a different dimension / different world. Let me see what he says. Where is he getting that from? We'll find out. Even if they use sekai, it's not meant to be used to such a degree of vast universal level, since the very context of how they talk about and refer to it is never as universal, but planet-sized dimensions. That's inaccurate. That's inaccurate. There are many times when the word world is used to refer to the entire universe, and you just have to know the context in which they're talking about when they're talking about world. But that would be inaccurate, and I can, should I show it now? Let me see. I'll show it now. Let's go here. No, not this one. Oh, not that one. Alright, Can't Fear Your Own World, Volume 2, page 38. Can't Fear Your Own World, Volume 2, 38. Let's do it. Volume 2, 38. Okay. Oh, past it. 36, 37, 38. Okay. Let's see. We're looking for Kisuke. Oh, that's page 27, 32, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38. Okay. Alright guys, real quick. So I don't end up finding this in the video, but I found it after I reread it. So it's basically this last paragraph we're looking at where Kisuke refers to the world collectively, as in like the entire cosmology. Look, Uruhara started to write text on the whiteboard in a carefree manner. So in this world, there are several intelligent races. To put it in broad terms, those are humans, soul reapers, pluses, and hollows. I suppose, well, putting aside that hollows were originally human kanpaku. So yes, oftentimes in Bleach, the world is referred to as the entire cosmology, as those entities do not live on the planet Earth. So he's obviously not talking about the Earth. This is addressing the entire cosmology as a whole. Alright, well, this might just be the best example. So sorry that took so long, but we're gonna go through this and find any examples where world refers to the world of the living, soul society, Wako Mundo, or everything together. Before the soul society was created by his magnificence, what did the world look like? I wonder if they're talking about one place, several places, or the entire cosmology. I'll let you guys decide. Most had probably wondered what great presence ruled over the soul society in the world of the living. I wonder if they're talking about one place, several places, or the entire universe. I'll let you guys figure it out. Along with their surprise that an afterworld actually existed, many of those who came to live an afterworld, almost like an afterlife. Many of those who came from the Rukangai, who came to live in the Rukangai from the world of the living, were curious to know who ruled over the soul reapers. Most accepted the Soul King as a nebulous symbol of the world and an absolute peace. I wonder if the world. No, I'm not playing. We're not going to do that game. Yeah. So clearly in this one, definitely, what did the world look like before? Who was the Soul King before the Soul Society was created by his magnificence? What did the world look like before? This is clearly referring to the entire universe, because we know the Soul King separated said universe from the primordial sea. The primordial sea is an absolute, all-encompassing realm, right? And we know the Soul King separated the one into the three. So what did the world look like? We're clearly talking about the entire universe from its origin. That's what we're talking about here. And then the Soul King as a nebulous symbol of the world. Since we know he created the world, that's what they're talking about, the entire cosmology. Right? Let's go. The Soul King is, in practical terms, the linchpin of the world. Again, talking about the entire universe, not just not just the Soul Society itself, not just Wako Mundo itself, not just the world of the living itself. This right here is a clear indication they're talking about the entire cosmology. The Soul King, in practical terms, the linchpin of the world. And we know that what did the world look like before he did all this stuff? It was one, unanimous conglomerate thingy. Let's see if we can find some more. Okay, if the Soul King were to disappear, the three worlds, the Soul Society, the world of the living, and Wako Mundo, would likely crumble immediately. In that case, what was the world like in a time before the linchpin was established? Again, we have the three worlds, the Soul Society, world of living, and Hueco Mundo. And we're hearing they would likely crumble if he was not here. So we already have an establishment of the one world, right? Going back to this one, what did the world look like? And now we have the three that would likely crumble if he was not here as the linchpin of it. So to be thankful, constantly revere the Soul King for endlessly existing as the world's absolute pinnacle. Again, speaking of the entire universe, not just one place, not just two places, not just three places, the entire universe's linchpin or pin. Yeah. Let's see. World was on now. They was thankful for the world? No. They had done well creating a world filled with deceit? Nah. This could be said on this day. The world had changed. We probably could use this one, but yeah. For people in the world of the living, I'm not sure the people over there would have much interest in Karakura Town. Not here. Not here. But you guys understand my point. He's absolutely incorrect about that assertion. World is definitely used multiple times to reference the entire cosmology. Yeah. So it's not classified as such, but just a different dimension / different world. Even if they use Sekai, it's not meant to be used to such a degree of vast size, universal level, since the very context of how they talk about and refer to it is never as universal size, but planet size dimensions. Yeah, that statement, that is just incorrect, my friend. I like you, DJ Talks, but that's just incorrect. Shinsui says the soil of Soul Society. Toshiro says Yama is evaporating all the water of Soul Society. Eisen says he doesn't want to breathe the air of Soul Society. Air, sky, water, ground are references to planet. Yeah, see, and this is what I said in the beginning. If you don't understand the context, you're going to get lost in the sauce, right? Let's look. Reishidat, in actuality, Reishidat is third class and above can never return to the soil of Soul Society. So yeah, Soul Society, world of the living, in Hueco Mundo, the word world, universe, Sekai are all interchangeable and have different meanings and connotations depending on the context of what you're talking about. Of course, in this context, Shunsui is referencing the planet that they're on right now. But I just showed you guys in Can't Fear Your Own World, literally, where world was literally talking about the entire cosmology, certain aspects of certain dimensions, and other things. So yeah, this is just incorrect. Yeah, this doesn't prove that it's planet size, that the Soul Society can be referred to society. True, the planets or the entire space-time. See, and this is something like, I don't want to be biased. We'll just keep going. This doesn't prove that it's planet size, as a Soul Society can be referred to society, the planet, or the entire space-time, as it has been stated that the universe is made up of three worlds, and all three worlds are space-times with their own sun, stars, and everything. Soil of Soul Society, water of Soul Society, air of Soul Society. These words are a singularity to describe planets, not vast universes. Gosh. See, it seems like DJ Talks is just not picking and choosing per se, but he is, because there's examples even in the manga where you can find world referred to as all three dimensions. So planets are space-times with stars and moons in them, and those planets cannot be accessible with portals. Nigga, shut the fuck up, please. Y'all are holding onto this space-time bullshit for dear life. The Dragon Ball Z time chamber is a different space and time, yet it is only as big as the planet Earth. Is that an actual fact? Let me see. It's so huge, but I thought this was all inside of a room, and there's no end. It's supposed to be as big as Earth itself. Be careful. If you wander too far, you get lost and die out here. It's supposed to be as big as Earth itself. So a claim like that, that one's hard. We'll take that claim at face value. Goku has been coming here since he was a kid, but he only went there one time when he was a kid. This is almost like a knowledge claim. We would need more information on it. Words like supposed to be as big, I don't have a lot of confidence in. I'd like more direct things than this. But let's hear his point. Yeah, the DBZ time chamber is a different space in time, yet it's only as big as planet Earth. Human world is where humans live. It doesn't does not include galaxies. Human world is where humans live. It does not include galaxies. Human world. See, that would be incorrect because world of the living could literally refer to the entire universe or the planet that we're on, and same thing with the word realm. So, I mean, I disagree with that. Does not include galaxies. It is just Earth. So when they say a portal appeared in the sky of human world, it is in context of a planet, since the universe doesn't have a single sky. I mean, that's almost a obvious thing to say, though. It doesn't, like, just saying that doesn't rule out the fact that the word world can still mean universe when they're talking about it in certain contexts. So you are kind of picking and choosing the context you want to use world in. You're solely focusing on contexts that have to do with the planet itself. When they say the water of Soul Society, they're referring to the Soul Society as a planet, as a universe has no water. I mean, that's incorrect because the planet exists within the universe. That's just incorrect. And then the primeval waters are a metaphysical and metaphorical use of waters. So this is incorrect, my friend. 3 different spacetimes means they're separate spaces that are not physically connected, unlike planets. The Soul Society can be referred to society, the planet, and the entire world or the universe / spacetime. I'm going to debunk you now, so wait and don't dodge it. This whole... Oh, where'd we go? Uh-oh. Where'd we go? Okay. This whole notion of they need to be universalized because they are different time is baloney, pushed by incredible fallacies and fantasies. When I just showed and debunked you Dragon Ball Z. Dragon Ball Z time chamber is a different time and space, and then yet it is only large Earth. Oh my god, he needs to learn how to freaking type. Same case with Bleach. Everything that has different sky color or different time does not make it a universe in size. They could all work just like the time chamber as separate dimensions. The size of a planet or smaller, yet visually different, or access to it is different. Kawaki's dimension is a different time and space, yet it is not a universe. It is a different dimension where time does not flow. It's illogical to continue to beat this dead horse. If universal wank out your ridiculous mouths. Oh, it's illogical to continue to beat this dead horse. If universal wank, I don't know why he types like this. I'm sorry, y'all. It's not me. It's really him. Anyways, I debunked y'all time and time again. Then getting mad about it when someone knocks you guys down. Wank tree. This is Waco Mundo. It has a moon inside, as stated in the manga. The world of the living also has a moon. Are you telling me that the planet with the moon are in a different time space from the sun and stars? Aren't they in the same space as we see? So he's saying if Waco Mundo and the world of the living are in the same time space, where would be the sun in Waco Mundo, I'm guessing. Waco Mundo has no stars. It is only a planet covered in sand, and it has a moon, but the moon is inverted and different from Earth moon. So its size could be different as well as the planet Waco Mundo itself compared to Earth, as well as Waco Mundo atmosphere and its surface. And its surface. And its surface is covered in trees, meaning Waco Mundo is the planet itself, with its moon just being the moon of Waco Mundo, similar to our moon being the moon of Earth. Our Earth and moon would be considered human world and human world moon. See, but even with that, if you're referring to Waco Mundo, then you would actually be including the moon in this, which you kind of just agreed to. And the moon is outer space. So, yeah. I don't know what he wants to do about that. Oh, look at, Previ is on it, Previnx is on it. And the moon exists in space, the same place the sun and stars exist. Waco Mundo is a world without light, and that doesn't mean that it has no space. That is true. That's a fake sun merchant. I already debunked eyes and made a fake sun. In Lost Noches building that give off light. The blue sky in Lost Noches is not a real sky or a real sun. Neither is there a real sun. Neither is there a real sun. He's talking about the light that shines on Soul Society, not that a sun exists. He's talking about the light that shines on Soul Society, not that a sun exists in Soul Society, as he's referring to light from the fake sun Isaac made and compares it to the light Soul Society receives from the sun. Yeah, that was a headache and totally, I want to say that was unrelated. I don't know why he responded like that. I don't think it was relevant, to be quite honest. Let's keep going. Okay. Unlike the hyperbolic time chamber in Kawaki's dimensions, the Soul Society, Wakamundo, and the world of the living are real worlds that make up the original universe. That is true, according to the lore. It's no different than the time chamber. Instead, they just use Garganta as a door of sorts to enter the planet-sized dimension. Instead of physically flying to different planet-sized dimensions. Instead of physically flying to planet-sized dimensions. So he's intimating that you can fly from Earth to Soul Society and from Soul Society to Wakamundo. That's what he's intimating right now. The three worlds are made up of one original world / planet. I don't like that idea because that's like never shown or stated. It's like if you understand the primordial waters, you know there is no creation at that point. Nothing. It's a state of ambiguity. It's a state of oneness and absoluteness. So there is no planet that you could exist on that would be a thing. You would just be existing in perpetuity. In perpetuity. Hope I said that right. The Soul King didn't create the original planet, nor did he create universes and galaxies. Ooh, all right. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Now, if he is trying to equate the primordial waters to the original planet, then I would agree with him. But if he's just saying anything outside of the primordial waters he didn't create, then that would be incorrect. Because we know he is the one, or at least, we know he is the one that split the universe into what it is now. He made the world how it is now. So the Soul King didn't create the original planet, nor did he create universes and galaxies. The stars already existed, and the 5 noble clans originators already existed, meaning outer space and the other celestial bodies and stars were already in existence? What the fuck? Alright, DJ Talks, you're losing mad points here. None of this makes sense within the lore. And you said you read Bleach, so I'm expecting more from you from this part. This is just bad. This is all wrong. All right, let's go back. The stars already existed, and the 5 noble clans originators already existed, meaning outer space and the other celestial bodies and stars were already in existence. That does not logically follow. One does not mean, suggest, or intimate the other. Where did he get the stars already existed? Where did he get that? Anyone know where he got that? I don't know where he got that. I'm trying to figure it out. Before Soul King was born as a Shinigami, cannot breathe. Before Soul King was born as a Shinigami, cannot breathe in outer space. So there was already a surface they lived on in the original planet, and he keeps calling it a planet. So he's assuming creation is where the primordial waters took place. That's incorrect. I break that down in the video. Go watch the freaking video. I break that down. All right. The primordial sea is not the first point of creation. That's why I made it a point to say that. The primordial sea is not the first point of creation. It's where creation first began. There's a big difference in that. There's a big difference in that. The primordial sea is like I said, the everlasting, the absolute, the place where nothing grows, but within Kubo's spin on it, things did generate, beings did come out of it, right? Creation itself doesn't start until after the Soul King does what he does. And we know that's true because the Soul Society's history only dates back to 1 million years. It only dates back to 1 million years, meaning time didn't start moving forward until after that point, meaning there was no creation or no account of history or records until after that point. Mind you, Ichibe knows this stuff because he was there. But Ichibe, even in that thing, and I break this down, I say this again, I break this down, go watch the video. Ichibe says it could have been 10,000 years or 100 million years. He really doesn't know because there's nothing to delineate or differentiate how much time had passed because everything was oneness. So he needs to watch my video, basically, is what I'm saying. He needs to watch my video. Fool, they cannot fly anywhere. Don't be stupid. Your response makes no sense. What are you even talking about? They cannot fly anywhere. You dumbass. You dumbass. Billions of stars and other planets in space aren't tied to the solar cycle. The worlds were going to crash in under 2 minutes and the stars just sitting pretty. You know why? Because it's not a part of that soul ooga booga flow. Or soul's cosmology. That's so weird to say. I don't understand. I might just have to watch the movie again, guys, because I don't understand his evidence. We'll pass the critical point in 2 minutes. Okay. Yeah, it's hard for me to comment on any of the memories of nobody stuff, honestly. Okay, let's see what we got. Your own logic is just a false equivalencies. Time chamber is a pocket dimension while the worlds are not. Time chamber is a pocket dimension while the worlds are not. True, because pocket dimensions exist within the world, so that is true. Where did we go? Oh yeah. Who says Kawaki's dimension isn't a universe? LOL. If it's a separate space-time, then unless it is a pocket dimension, it would be a universe. Yo, I like Fish Flakes. I don't know who he is. He gonna get a follow though. We gonna follow Fish Flakes. He's funny. I like him. Cause that's a fair assessment. Like, I'm not going to give Kawaki's thing being a universe. I'm not just going to say it is, but who's to say it isn't? Do we have any proof that it's not? Like, this is why you need proof and evidence and thorough research before you just put things out there. Before you just say anything, make sure you know what the F you're talking about, bro. At the end of this, I might follow DJ Talks too. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, let's go back again. Where is... Yo, where's that one thing with the diagram? That's what I'm looking for. Okay, I think this will be it. Okay. Nope. Okay, cool. Let's start here because I think we understand his argument now. Cool. This is I think we were here. Yeah, you dumbass. Billions of stars and other planets in space aren't tied to the solar cycle. Oh well, he brings up this. Okay, cool. This guy, Tayuya, where did he come from? All right. So cool, we saw this. Fool, they cannot fly anywhere. Don't be stupid. Your response makes no sense. What are you even talking about? They cannot fly anywhere. I need context though. What was he saying? Why did he say fly anywhere? Okay, this whole notion of they need to be universes, we already went over that. Unlike the hyperbolic time chamber in Kawaki's dimension, the soul society and Wakamuno of the world where they're living are real worlds that make up the original universe. It's no different from planet size. It's no different from time chamber. It's that they just use Garganta as a door of sorts to enter the planet size dimension instead of physically flying to different planet size dimensions. Okay, cool. Let's stick with that. It's no different from the time chamber. Instead, they just use Garganta as a door of sorts to enter the planet-sized dimension instead of physically flying to the different planet-sized dimension. The three worlds are made up of one original world/planet. The Soul King didn't create... Oh yeah, that's right. Cool. The Soul King didn't create the original planet, nor did he create the universes and galaxies. Right, we already went over that. Nice. Good. So that's why he says, fool, they cannot fly anywhere, don't be stupid. That's why he says that. Your response makes no sense. What are you even talking about? They cannot fly anywhere. Okay, so I don't know why he got... So yeah, DJ Talks got lost in the sauce. He doesn't know why Previx is responding like this, but we all clearly know why he's saying that, because he literally just said they opened their Garganta instead of physically flying to the different planet-sized dimensions. That's literally what he just said. So Now we have our context. Let's see what Tayuya has to say. We take rockets and get to the stars and moons in real life, dumbass. Bleach has the same Earth with all of its history as we do. World of the living don't share a space, nor is space outside the realms. Each realm simply has their own space and stars, dumbass. Each realm is made of different matter. And let's see. Ichigo, did you bring Tekken? The next one's coming out soon, so I need that back already, right? I bought it. I don't know what this has to do with it. Maybe it's a whole thing. Oh, is this Tekken? Oh, not just fortune telling. I don't know what that says. Oh, I hate sidekicks and all those trades where they take money from people, yada yada yada. So even though we're in this week, it's going to suck for Cancer. Okay, so it's an astrology book. He's okay, yeah, cool. I mentioned this in video. Okay, cool. It's an astrology book. Nice. And then we have this. This gate has a Reishi spirit particle conversion machine on top of a normal tunnel world gate. The two are attached by converging the gate with blah 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 blah. Spirit particle conversion. As you know, the Soul Society is a world of Konpaku souls. It is impossible to enter it without looking like a Konpaku. But as you know, only Mr. Kurosaki, a soul reaper, can move as a Konpaku. Even if souls were removed from the rest of you, their chains of fate would still be attached, so you'd barely be able to move, much less travel to the Soul Society. So yeah, this is just kind of reinforcing that physical matter Kishi cannot exist within the spirit world of Reishi, basically. So yeah, this doesn't prove. Ooh, is this where we were? God damn, what is happening here, bro? God, like it just took me out of it. All right. Yeah, so he called him a dumbass. Then he says, you dumbass, billions of stars and other planets in space-time aren't tied to the soul cycle. The worlds we're getting to... Oh, we already read this. Okay, cool. Let's go back. Yada, yada. All right, what you said does not address what I said, retard. Learn to read. You're actually dumb as fuck. Of course they can leave Earth in spaceships. Doesn't mean they can see other dimensions or souls. Only Earth is part of the soul cycle from human perspective, not Mars or Jupiter. The soul cycle doesn't reach the idea you think. And the soul society is in a different dimension. No, I'm sorry. The soul society is a different dimension with its own moon, sun, and other stars. That's why it cannot be accessed physically. Use your brain. You're either wanking them to be universes or solar systems. It sounds like you are confused and don't know which argument you're arguing, nigga. Either way, you're both wrong. Soul Society and Earth's star and sun is one and the same. They can, however, have their own moons and would be the moon of the Soul Society or the moon of the Earth, but not the planet itself, which is dragged. Soul Society and Earth's star/sun is one and the same? Is one and the same. Interesting. Very interesting. Does he actually prove this, though? Can he prove this? Alright, back to Fish Flakes. He says, wrong. The dimensions were shown being pulled together, not just the planets. The planets aren't even moving. Their dimensions are. It's no good. The dimension passed beyond the critical zone. That's technically proof. Nigga, moons, planets, and stars exist in the same space, and there's nothing separating it. Don't be stupid. The moon is in space, just like the sun and stars. If the world of the living has its own moon and sun, then so does a soul society. The soul society cannot physically interact with the world of the living. That is true. No, they are not the same, retard. Again, they just jumping this nigga. They're not the same, retard. Again, you can't take a rocket to get the soul society from world of the living. And they're made up of different matter. And in Bleach, the soul/earth of Soul Society has already been ostracized. Let's see. In actuality, Reishi can never return to the Soul Society. Can never return to the soil of Soul Society. Okay. The fact that they're made up of different matter is more relevancy that these are planet size. There's no stars made up of Kishi, while other stars are made up of Reishi. Makes no sense. No, you cannot take a Wait, what? No, you can't take a rocket to go to another dimensions because you need Garganta portals to travel to them. Otherwise, you're just traveling raw space outside of the soul cycle. Didn't he just say you could fly there, though? Didn't he just get through saying that? Let's go. We're going to go back and look at that. Garganta is like the door to another dimension, like the door to Dragon Ball Z time chamber. You can't enter it. You can't enter in time chamber without the door, which serves as the portal. But the dimension itself is as big as a planet. This is the case with every Bleach world. Well, I mean, that's actually incorrect. Because if you can scream your way out of the hyperbolic time chamber, nothing suggests that you can't scream your way in it. So that would just be incorrect. You don't need the door to go. Well, I'll say this, right? We've only seen people exit it. But the fact that doors open from both sides suggests that you can open it from the outside as well without actually opening the door. But let's go back to where he did in fact say, I hope I can find it, where he did in fact say, you can literally fly there. All right. It's no different from the time chamber. Instead, they just use Garganta as a door of sorts to enter planet-sized dimension instead of physically flying to a different planet-sized dimension. Okay, cool. So he did in fact say you can physically fly to a different planet-sized dimension. He did say this. That's a fact. All right, cool. So he's backpedaling or he's forgetting his arguments. One of the two is an absolute fact. So yeah, now he's saying, no, you can't take a rocket to go to other dimensions because you need Garganta portals to travel to them. So all right, we're gonna, I should take notes on this stuff, but I'm just trying my best to remember it. All right. Being made of different matter means there are different planes of existence, dumbass. There are no stars made of Kishi. What do you think stars are made of if they aren't made of matter? Yeah, see, and that's another argument, right? You can't say there are no stars made of Kishi and there are no stars made of Reishi when everything in the Soul Society is literally made of spirit particles. Everything in the Soul Society, and this does not just mean the planet, because the planet is just not the only thing indicative of Soul Society. We'd be talking about the whole realm, right? But I guess that's something we'd have to prove when we get there, right? Because his argument is he is talking about the planet itself. So I guess I can't just assert that it would be talking about the universe. That would be the argument. But the counter argument to that is, if they're sharing the same sun, is the sun made of Kishi or Reishi? They can't be the same thing because they can't interact. So that's how you would get around that. The sun would either have to be made of one or the other. It would be Kishi or Reishi. And then the argument comes in the fact that while yes, the lower density the more subtle plane can interact with the lower plane, the opposite can't be true. So if it's a Kishi sun, meaning a world of the living spirit particle sun, it wouldn't be able to interact with the Soul Society. Hope all that made sense. Okay. Being made of a different matter means there are different planes of existence. Oh yeah, we already read this. False equivalence. You're equating all of Soul Society to a time chamber. That's like saying chakra is spiritual pressure. Each realm has the blank realm has stats in the realm, and the fact that you coincide that world of living has space and stars means Soul Society has by default, since the world, I don't know, they're equal in size, retard. Yeah, y'all gotta learn to type. Slow down, please. It's not that serious. It works the same way as the dimension in different time, yet same size as Earth. Soul Society is a planet, so stars cannot exist inside a planet. Soul Society is a planet, so stars cannot exist inside of a planet. That's true, okay. Everything on the outside of Soul Society is still visible from the Soul Society surface in the sky. It's like Wonder Woman invisible plane. They can see everything on the outside, but no one can see them on the inside. And he's talking about, I'm guessing, Earth to spiritual dimensions and stuff. Yeah, it's like this and this. It wasn't mentioned in the series, but trust me. That's hilarious. Yeah, it's like this and this. It wasn't in the series, but trust me, that's funny. It's implied with the space of Wonderrag where Quincy lived. It was a space inside Soul Society, sedentary grounds, yet no actually visible, debunked. So you can't just assert that because what the Quincy's did, which was, make a shadow dimension inside of sedentary, that now all of a sudden Soul Society and the Garganta and all these things are now just invisible from the Earth, and from your perspective in your argument. You can't just assert that. That's not true. That's not how it would work. The two things don't correlate, and there's nothing suggesting that's what happened or took place. Yeah, it's a pocket dimension inside the shadows. What's your point? Right. A space doesn't have to be defined as a universe or galaxies. It can be subjectively referring to a planet-sized space or planet-sized dimension, same as time chamber is referenced as a planet-sized dimension, but still being on a already planet. But what happens in the time chamber has no effect on the outside Earth or the stars or galaxies. This is the same way with the flow of souls. The dimensions that are connected to flow of souls are affected, not the actual space outside of the soul cycle. Okay. Let's dissect this. A space doesn't have to be defined as a universe or galaxy. True. It can be subjectively referring to a planet-sized space or planet-sized dimension. Also true, but we would need evidence for which one it's talking about. You can't just assert that it is, just like he can't just assert that it isn't. So in a case like that, we would lean to what has more evidence. Yet still be okay. But what happens in the time chamber has no effect on the outside Earth or the stars or galaxies. I mean, that's true. That's true. So is he saying Soul Society is a closed off dimension then? If so, how would it be receiving light? I don't know. Maybe that's not what he's saying. This is the same way with the flow of souls. Okay, he's talking about the flow of souls then. Okay, the same with the flow of souls. The dimensions that are connected to the flow of souls are affected, not the actual space outside of the soul cycle. Alright. Okay, so let me read that again. The dimensions that are connected to the flow of souls are affected, not the actual space outside of the soul cycle. I don't know about that. According to the lore, this would be inaccurate. According to the lore, what Yuha was attempting to do was basically get back to the primordial realm. But in his case, the primordial realm literally is just this. It doesn't include the sun, moon, and stars and stuff. It literally just includes everything in here, which is totally incorrect. And we're going to get into why this diagram is incorrect. So the Garganta is inside space. You're not serious, bro. This is what outer space looks like normally, because space overlaps it, and all the worlds are invisible to each other because they are dimensionally cut off from each other. You need to open Garganta to get the other dimensions. Otherwise, you would just be traveling raw space. Okay, so he is in fact saying that you can travel raw space to get to these worlds. So we've already confirmed that he did in fact say this. Then he took it back and said, no, I ain't say that. And now he's saying, let's read it again to make sure we're not making a mistake. He said, you need to open the Garganta to get to other dimensions. Otherwise, you would just be traversing raw space. Otherwise, you would just be traversing raw space. So he is actually saying, if you're not opening the Garganta to get there, you would have to traverse raw space. So he did say that. I don't know why he's so flip-floppy with this, but that's totally incorrect as well. There's no way that these could be separate spaces existing within the same universe, but only accessible through the Garganta. That wouldn't make sense. This diagram would intimate that you can get to the human world with a rocket ship like he said before. There would be no reason to take the Dangai because they're in the same universe. So I don't know why he would say they're not, right? And it's not like you can get to one side of the human world to the Soul Society and then all of a sudden run into a wall that says only Reishi can pass through here. That's not what's going on. So I have to disagree with this. It's incorrect. Bro, show a scan that proves that the Garganta overlaps the three worlds, cut off from each other. Explain it. All right. Now, overlaps the three worlds. So if he's just talking about in this context, I agree with him. This would be incorrect. But overall, I do have the Garganta overlapping everything, which would include the three worlds. So Bleach scareless when you tell them Bleach worlds are just Earth-sized dimensions, like the time chamber. Nigga, how many times you want me to post Quincy dimension being... See, that the Quincy dimension doesn't prove that's what's happening with all these other dimensions. That's something the Quincy specifically did. Now, if you were arguing that Yuha or the Soul King used Quincy Reiatsu or Quincy powers or like did some Quincy shit to make these things invisible, that would be something. But you're not saying that. You're just saying, oh, look, Quincy's did it, so this just must be how it's be. This must be what it is. But anyways, let's go over why this whole thing is wrong in the first place. I took the liberty because I saw this and made my own because it looks much better, right? Look at this, guys. Look at your boy. I'm nice. I've gotten nice at these I've gotten very nice at these thumbnail thingies. So let's do this in order, okay? Because I mentioned this in the video. So, make sure my mic is right. First, let's read the quote. If the world of the living in the Soul Society could be likened to planets, and the pipeline that connected them were the Dangai, the voided space that surrounded those was called Garganta. So, that quote is already telling us we're not dealing with simple planets. But let's just say we are. For the sake of his argument, let's just say we're dealing with planets. What would this mean? Well, this would mean that the void of space that surrounds these places, right? That would now be physical. That would now be a physical void and no longer a subtle plane, because if we're removing outer space, if we're saying outer space is not this, if we're saying outer space doesn't exist and these places are just dimensions with no solar systems, if we're removing outer space, only the Garganta would exist in this framework as it is now, right? I'm not saying outer space doesn't exist, but what they would be experiencing only is the Garganta, right? And yeah, so okay, cool, yeah. So if this is just the Garganta, you would have to argue that, number one, how would they see outer space if the Garganta is blocking all this stuff? How would they see outer space if the Garganta is blocking all this stuff? I mean, unless he's claiming that there are stars in between the Garganta. Let me see. Let's do it like this. Okay, so here we got our stars. So like, just imagine, how would I do this? Let's do a layer. Send it back. Oh no, not that far back. Let's turn this white. Kind of. I don't know. Anyways, he would have to be arguing that there are stars in between the Garganta and the world of the living. But we know there are no stars in the Garganta. There's no evidence of there being stars in the Garganta. So that's the first issue you run into with this, right? If this, according to the quote, and let's read it again. Well, I'll read a particular part again. The void of space that surrounded those was called Garganta, those being the world of the living in Soul Society. Now, for some reason, he's making this an invisible void of space, but that wouldn't be accurate, because when people look outside, this is what they would be seeing. They wouldn't be seeing outer space, they would be seeing this invisible void, which would make everything in here a physical thing now, right? The Dangai would be a physical thing that you could access from Earth. The Valley of Screams would be physical phenomena that scientists would be able to observe and see within their reality, because the Garganta surrounds all this stuff. So if it's surrounding all this stuff, all these things would now be visible things. This would also make the Dangai a place you can just walk to from the Soul Society. So yeah, I disagree wholeheartedly and entirely with that interpretation. It's just outright wrong. Nothing supports it and nothing suggests it. And then the quote that I read shuts it down entirely, because it's likening them to planets to help you have a better conception of what's being said. It's not saying these things are planets. It's saying this is the best representation to visualize if you were to conceive this concept that we're trying to talk about. So yeah. Let's see what else we got. Only pocket dimensions can be planet size. Hitchens razor. Okay. Anything else? Alright, Soul Society is a parallel dimension, not a planet. Show a single statement of them calling Soul Society a planet. You cannot. That is true. That is true. 2, they can walk outside the jet. You can't take a jet to Soul Society. You never proved you can. Yeah, that is again true. You can only get to these places via Garganta or Precipice World. You cannot fly to these places. These places don't exist within the same space-time. And his example of saying, oh, because first he said you could take a jet there, then he said you couldn't, and then he said, no, you definitely could take a jet there. We saw it twice now. It just doesn't make sense. It wouldn't make sense. And then you'd have to deal with the fact that, again, this world would have to be interacting, or this world can't exist in the same universe as this world because they're made up of different matters too. And if you're saying they can, you would have to tell me what the sun is made of. Is that a Kishi sun or is that a Reishi sun? It has to be one or the other, because only Kishi makes up the physical world, and only Reishi makes up the spiritual world, and the two can't interact. And everything in the Soul Society is quoted to be spiritual, or made of spirit particles. So yeah. Again, that's another false equivalence left my house off. Holy fuck, you can't debate or argue for shit. You already said brother living can travel to the sun and moon and other stars, meaning it's in the realm, and since all realms are equal in size, Soul Society has stars too. No one is saying stars exist in a planet. You retarded, left my house off. Yeah, no one said that. I don't know where he got that. He did in fact say it though. Let me see, did I get a notification? Just flip. Okay, but yeah, that was the first debunk. That was a lot longer than I thought. That wasn't supposed to be that long, but hey, you know, what it is. That was a lot. I enjoyed it though. It was fun. Yeah, I'm gonna release this after the video, so you guys won't see this until my video comes out. But this was fun. I enjoyed it. I gotta find more. Hey yo, if you guys are on Twitter, make sure to tag me in any crazy Bleach arguments that you see. I'll definitely either take them on as debates myself or give my feedback on how the conversation went. But yeah, I like this. So how long are we streaming for so far? 1 hour and 31 minutes? Damn! Alright, we out. Y'all take it easy. Ab-stract section 2024. Damon versus the Bleach verse is coming out next. Look forward to it. Take it easy.